So this is going to be the review video for test 3. I want to preface again, like I did in the other videos, some of the abbreviations I'm not entirely sure what they mean, so if I'm off, I apologize. I'm pretty sure you guys went over this in class, so if there's one or like a few questions that I had a mess up on, you at least have a reference, or you can just ask your teacher. So I'm planning this is going to be in 3 parts, so we're going to see how that goes. We're just going to jump in on number 1, so it needs to be find p of -2, so that basically means we're going to plug in our x with -2, which means we're just going to, every time we see an x, put -2 there. So basically this is going to become, so we're going to write it here, p of -2 equals 3, -2 to the third plus 4 times -2 squared minus 2 times, again, -2 plus 9. Alright, so from there we're going to kind of just simplify this down and just in the parts. So we have -2 to the third is going to get us -8. -8 times 3, -24. Plus, we have a -2 squared, which is going to make us a positive 4 times 4, 16. Then, this is basically adding a -2 times whatever's happening here, right? So, -2 times -2 just gives us a positive 4. And then our 9 just stays the same. And then when you simplify this, you should get an answer of 5. So p of -2 is 5. Alright, so now for number 2, perform indicated operation. So basically they're wanting us to kind of simplify this down. So how do we want to do that? Well, I'm going to see here with our subtracting this section, the second section, I'm going to be adding the opposite. So now instead of subtracting this parentheses, we're going to add its opposites. So from there, we're just we can match up what we were left with, right? So I'm going to kind of put these in order. So we have 6k squared plus -2k squared plus 2k squared, right? Then, going to our k's, we have 3k minus 5k. Then we're left with a -1 and -4. So let's simplify this first part here. This is going to get us a 6k, right? Because these cross out. Or 6k squared, sorry. And then plus, then with this one, we are left with a minus. So I'm going to take away that addition here real quick. -2k. And then we're left with a -5 with our last ones. And that is what you want to simplify it to. Alright, number 3. So number 3, we're going to be doing multiplying these out, right? So I'm going to kind of just show my method, how I kind of do it. I do it over and under, so I make sure I multiply everything. So by doing those first overs, we have a 2x squared times 5x, which is a 10x to the third. Then we are going to do our 2x squared times -1, which is just -2x squared. Then our 4 times 5x, which is a 20x, and 4 times -1, which is -4. And there's no like terms to simplify here, so we are done with that one. Alright, so number 4, again, this is kind of seeing, we can either do those, your plug-in formulas, or we can just kind of see what this is actually multiplying. Whichever way is easier for you. You should be able to get the same answer. So again, our over and under method. So we have 2x times 2x, which is 4x squared. Then we have a 2x times -1, which is a -2x. Then a -2x again with our -1 times 2x, and -1 times -1, which is a +1. So we do have a like terms here. So we're going to simplify this down. 4x squared stays the same. Then we have minus 4x, right, because we're adding two negative 2x's. and plus 1. So that is what you should be left with, number 4. Now, number 5. Number 5 is kind of wanting you to get out what they all have in common. So you're going to see in number 5, what they have in common, right, is the biggest number. So let's first focus on the digits, right? We have 64, 32, and 40. Well, I believe we can take out an 8 from all of those, right? What's another thing we can take out? Let's move to the x. Well, what is the greatest amount of x to some exponent that covers all of them, right? So that's going to be our lowest. We can take an x to the third out of all of them because that is what our lowest number is. Now let's look at our y variable. 2. Y to the second is our lowest one, right? So we're going to do that because that is one that we all can pull out. Because if we went y to the third, wouldn't fit here because there's no, or y to the second is less than y to the third. So by taking all of those out, we're going to do it in steps. So taking 64 divided by 8 is 8. X to the 7th divided by x to the 3rd. Again, you're just going to kind of just do 7 minus 3. So just x to the 4th. Then our y, basically we're doing 3 minus 2, which is just y. Then we should be doing our next one. So 32 divided by 8 gives us a 4. Our x to the 3rd, we're taking that out. So we're left with an x squared. And this is going to cross out, right? Our y to the second and y to the second. So there's nothing there. All right, next one. Taking 8 out of negative 40 is actually going to be a negative 5. X to the 3rd, right? We're taking that out. So it's not even there anymore. And then our y to the 5th is 5 minus 2, y to the 3rd. And that's all you're pretty much needing to do for number 5. All right, so number 6, write equivalent expression by factoring. So again, this is wanting, I believe this is wanting you to do a grouping method to factor. So take out what they all have in common. So in that first one, we can take 3x out of both of these, leaving us 4x minus 5, plus what we can take out of this 8x and minus 10 is a positive 2, right? So that's leaving us 4x minus 5. Again, we always want these two to have the same answer. So then we are left with 4x minus 5 times 3x plus 2. All right, number 7. Number 7, factor the poly by grouping. So this is telling you specifically to do the grouping method, so we're going to do that now. So with our first half and our second half, so what can we take out of that 10x and 10x squared and 35, right? We can take out a 5x, right? 5x, leaving us a 2x minus 7. Then moving on to our next one, we can take out a 3 out of here, right? So leaving us with a 2x minus 7. Or sorry, I'm taking out a negative 3 there. So again, these are both the same. So we can take out a 2x minus 7 times 5x minus 3. Alright, the final one for this video, which of the following is a factor of. Again, I don't know where the options are, but I'm just going to show you how I would solve this to figure out what the factor is. So, grouping method again, taking out the common term. We can take out a 2x to the 3rd with this one, right? So leaving us with a 3x to the 3rd, right? Because 6 minus 3 is 3, plus 2. Then we can take out a negative 5, right? Leaving us a positive 3x to the 3rd, plus 2. So what we have in common here, 3x to the 3rd plus 2 times a 2x to the 3rd minus 5. Alright, that is the final one for this video.